So, that chat room. Some them Dino Robo. Them Dino Robo booties. Some of them Dino Robo booties. Ain't nothing like some of them Dino Robo booties. Get in there. Yep, there he is. Oh, where did that go? Well, that's kind of crazy. Alrighty then. Let's do this then. So low key, like, if a guy who has an allergy to seafood, you know, like walked into a sushi joint and he had chicken pox and a chef like rubbed his cleaver like off on his face, it probably still wouldn't smell as bad as the way that this booty looks. Just saying. Here's what I do. Every time I save these, I get these little pixelation. It's like micro pixelation. It just pixelates on me for whatever reason each time I save it. So I gotta recolor it to fix the pixelation. But low key, this otter is so beautiful though. Like, you know, beauty's really found on the inside. Yo, this freaking hair though, it's like so crazy in these eyes. So low key, I don't know why I decided to draw these big blocky claw shoe thingies that I like strapped onto here with these knee pads. But I just thought, well, maybe it would be appropriate for a Tommy gun. Yes. This is like say hello to my little friend, and he just pulls out a Tommy gun. He just walks in a joint, and he just kills everybody in there.
And then you happen.
That would actually be kind of fun. I told myself I'd draw one of these again. So I was like, it's a duo. So I just finished that sniper rifle, John.
I know. Mike's been telling everyone.
And I was like, I gotta do a Tommy gun. Because Tommy guns are just so pretty. It's like, imagine, like, what if you were at a fur convention, right? And somebody's, like, they saying, say hello to my little friend, and like, and you're like expecting them to like pull out, of course, like a Tommy gun, right? But instead of pulling out a Tommy gun, they pull out like something else. That would just be like the highlight of my day. I'd be like, wow, you just really tried to do that right now with me and you in this place together. That, like, wow. And I'd be like, and with all the people in the world, pick the most beautiful otter. I think that'd have to be like one of those things where it's like, you know, like if you were like a cancer patient, or you just like wanted a therapy animal. Like, I got a medical condition called being furry. Low key, this picture might actually take a little bit while longer than I was expecting to be filming for. And I hadn't thought out too much of what I want to talk about. I think I'll start by retracing it first. I think it's all colored in. Oh, it's not quite all colored in.
Why did you say 12:45? What's the link says 12:45? I don't know why it's
Sorry.
Yeah, but these shoes are fly though. Like, yeah, I was thinking, is it like, what if all the major corporations just like, they just took over with a bunch of dino furries, and like, instead of wearing clothes or like a uniform to school, you wore a fursuit to school, and like everywhere, like the entire community, like everybody on the planet was a furry, and there wasn't anything to wear ever, to wear. Like, it's not even like you were going to a party, but it's like you were putting on your uniform. But your uniform was like a fursuit. And you're like a military furry. I'd be like so stoked. I'd be like, wow, just like make me a super furry. Super furries for everyone. Yeah, getting this hair all colored in is going to be a little bit of trouble. I'll probably be doing this first.
Sometimes I want to give up on my wanted to go. I'm looking to this guy that's got what he's playing for. I know, it's like everybody around me.
You know, I think that furry as a lifestyle is really something that is a pervasive thing that's evolving in a way that is not calculable by like an unforeseen amount of predicaments that have been occurring through the evolution of the generations. Not of fairies, but of people, and that is the phasing out of, you know, the working class, I think. And what I mean by that is that, you know, a lot of these automated processes are going to make, you know, the average thing that average people can do, you know, um, no longer a commodity. In other words, just because I can make a product and like put it on a piece of plastic or on a piece of paper or like and like sell it as a product, you know, like when they got like these machines that, you know, they're like built to do it like a million times and they just sell things on such a large scale to where, you know, it's like the only question is like, oh, okay, so then what are we gonna put in the machine next, you know? And it's like, and then you're standing there like a rubber chicken factory, you know? And you know, you just have like a million rubber chickens, and you know, and you think to yourself, damn, like I don't know what to do with these many rubber chickens. But you know, somebody's got to buy them, right? But I think we're entering an age where we can just do things that we want to do for fun instead of doing our jobs, and we could count that as money instead of people like actually making real value. We could actually be real furry trash. And you know, like, and if it was like a voucher, it just says that congratulations, like, you have spent, you know, your entire life making YouTube videos, and now you are certified as a person that is officially furry trash. And I'd be like, wow, I aspire to be as trashy as you. If all I did was just get online, I just acted like so much trash that people just wanted to be me. They wanted to be like me. And then they just started imitating everything that I did. You know, like, they want to act like me, and they want to talk like me, and they want to dress like me, and they want to be just like me. They want to be the real Slim Shady. Yo, low key, what if this booty was the real Slim Shady? You know, and he just didn't even know, because like the real Slim Shady had just like pulled so far out of himself, he had lost himself inside of some kind of void, and he had like pulled himself out of his body and projected himself into somebody else, and then like he like reappeared as this person that is just a furry, and he's just like, whoa, like what am I doing here? And it's all like, oh yeah, that's what I'm doing here. I'm being real shady. And you know, and I think that the real beauty in the booty isn't on the outside. It's really on the inside, you know? And I will say, for a booty that smelled so bad, I've never thought a booty could be so beautiful. But it is. There aren't as many booties that smell that bad that look that beautiful on the inside. And you have to ask, well, how could a booty be beautiful on the inside? And that is a real simple question. That is, you just need to take a look inside of your booty and be like, wow, I have never conducted a hysterectomy, but I think for a booty this beautiful, I could make an exception. Actually, a friend of mine was a proctologist. They have these stories about, like, these people would, like, come into the hospital, and they'd have, they'd have freaking, like, rodents and otters and freaking, like, beavers and, like, cell phones, and like, they just, whatever that they were just stashing in their booty, that, it just slipped, like, all the way up inside of it. And they, like, were like, we're gonna need some assistance. It's like, we have a 911 emergency. We seem to have slipped an otter up our booty, and then they would call my buddy, and they would pay him real money. Well, pay her real money to, have her pull things back out of their butt that they had shoved up into their butt. And I just thought that was the darndest thing. Like, what would be one hell of a job? They just get paid to touch people's butts. So, like, the things we do for booty. That'd be like one of those things, when you're, like, writing in your journal at night, and you tell yourself, someday my kids will read this, and, I just want them to tell my story and, just remember me. And you're, like, sitting there thinking about, like, how you're going to pass it on to them. And, like, right before you write it, you're just like, I don't think I want to tell my children about this right now. But then it's already too late, because it's like the most honest and most true version of yourself in your life, and it's like that really happened to you. Like, somebody really, like, calls people, during emergencies and just says, hey, could you, pull this out of my butt for me, please? Because it's, like, stuck in there, and I need some assistance with my butthole. And you're like, and there's, like, nobody else to go to, and it's just like, it's happening, like, right there and then, and it's like, there's, like, no other way to go about it. It's like, even if you, like, call up a professional, that person that you're paying them extra money to take a look into your butt, it's still gonna, like, have to do it. And so it's still gonna be a person doing it to another person. So whether or not it's a professional, like a person that specializes in that, or whether it's just, like, your friend, it's something that happens, for the darndest reason. And so you're like, well, I guess if you could save money by skipping a trip of going to the hospital, maybe you could just, have your friend just, pull the, the otter out of your butthole for you, and then you'll be able to save all your money. And secretly, I feel like Mr. Booty here, that he really could be, the new face of Scarface. That's why it's so appropriate for him to have a Tommy gun. Like, yo, I didn't even realize that I was secretly John the booty of Scarface. Now he's Scar Booty with the booty scar. He's gonna get somebody so many scars with his booty by shooting him with a Tommy gun. That'd be something.
Yeah, Donkey Kong and people who are eating right now. They are eating.
Yo, this barrel clip's about to look hot. Yeah, for whatever reason, I feel like I should put one of those those 404 not found tags on this tummy gun. Yo, check this out. Check out what I'm drawing. I'm drawing this for a friend. I'm streaming online.
It was an opossum at first.
Oh no, it's not a possum. It's kind of got no neck and really small arms and really long legs.
Yep.
But
That's cool though.
But yeah, it's something. Low key, I have no neck like that. You'd have to do so many steroids. I always dreamed of being one of them buff men though. My pops is pretty large. Like one of them wrestling champions. Taught me how to do one of them fireman holds. Those are fun. I think I might have done that one of my lady friends before. And I was walking by, and they were all like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And they walked up to me all super crazy a crazy friend of mine. And then I just grabbed her and I just threw her over my shoulder, and it was just spinning her around like a helicopter. It was insane. And she was like, "Whoa!" All dizzy and was all "Hey, that was kind of fun." And I was like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, look what I just got. Oh, wow.
Nah, but you know what? That friend of mine, like, and you know, I could have sworn, you know, I know she has like a kid with one of my friends, but you know, like, she had like walked up, and I had just like given her a hug, right? I just grabbed her butt. And, and I mean, like, it was like a whole grip of butt in my hand, the booty. Like, I had the whole booty in my whole hand. Like, and, like, I, like, grabbed so much butt that, like, her whole body, like, lifted up into the air because I had, like, both booty cheeks with both hands, like, and, like, the way I was grabbing it, she, like, kind of, like, hopped up because she was, like, trying to hop out of, like, my booty grab type deal, and, like, the way that she had, like, tried to, like, hop up into the air to, like, hop out of, like, my booty grasp, it like, her legs just flew, like, up around me, and then I was just, like, walking around, like, with her, like, straddling me, like, for a moment, and then I set her back down, and I was all like, whoa, that was kind of hot, and then, yeah, and then I think she wait, I don't know if she kissed me after that. I can't remember. I know it was sometime around the time that was going on. Or I think it was the day before I ran into her, and then, because it was cold outside, and we were, like, at this place, like, late night, I ran into her. I was all like, oh, hey, like, you just happen to be, like, where I happen to be. And then, but, yeah, no, like, she had, like, wanted to hook up with me, and I was like, nah, I was like, not gonna do that, because I know that, like, she had, like, a kid with my friend. But then, I was, like, going through a neighborhood, like, one of these other, you know, like, like, probably, like, a few months later, and, you know, somebody was like, they were like, yo, bro, like, what's her name got freaking, like, knocked up again? And I was all like, no way. And I was all like, yo, I was just, like, grabbing all up on that booty just the other day, and she kissed me. And I think she wanted to hook up with me, but I was like, nah. But I guess she ended up hooking up with somebody else in the neighborhood that wasn't the person that she had the kid with. And she had gotten pregnant by, like, some other guy again. And I was like, whoa. Like a split second of a split decision of another thing of circumstances like that, like, could have been me in that moment where, like, that could have, like, happened to me. But it didn't, because I was, like, told myself I, like, have morals not to, like, do, like, I'll, like, grab my freaking buddy's baby mama's butt, but, like, not, like, have sex with her, because and then tell myself that I have morals, but I'm not sure exactly how that works out. But yeah, that happened. And I think, like, what if she had just, like, because, like, I, like, gave her the cue or the idea that, you know, that I wanted to do that, but then she probably just went out and found somebody else to do it with because she had thought that I wanted to do it, and then because I didn't want to do it, then she's probably thinking, like, oh, geez, well, like, somebody ought to want to do it because, you know, like, I think some people are just like that, too, like, they think that, you know, like, if you don't, like, hook up with them, that means that, you know, like, that you don't like them, and it's like, and you could like them, too, you know, but it's like, but, you know, you could also be, like, a person that has, like, morals, being, like, you know, like, if that's, like, your buddy's girlfriend, you know, like, you know, like that you shouldn't do that, you know, where like I kind of like broke my own little rule with that, but not like to that extent, but like to a like a lower minor extent, where like you know, to me, you know, I just thought it was appropriate because, you know, like I don't know. It's just like I feel like there's some people that it's okay to do that with, and there's some people that it's like it's not. And I think it really depends upon like the person, you know. But if it's like a party animal, you know, of course you're gonna like be like, you know, like somebody's like, hey, you know, they got this like amazing poodle, you know, and you just like want to play with a poodle because it just looks like this like play animal. It's like all fluffy and nice and like whatever. But you know, if somebody has like a pit bull, you know, and they're like, hey man, you know, like don't touch my dog, like you know, that's something to where like you know you can respect that because you know that's not like some like fluffy inviting you know poodle fluffy thing that like you know where like when something's like poofy and floofy and just you know nice and you know it's like of course you're like gonna want to like pet like you know something that's like you know like nice you know but if it's like mean then you know then don't touch it you know but if it's friendly then you know then go ahead you know just kind of like you know my general rule is that you know like is it like if you think it's okay then it's okay.
I mean, like everything you had when you was a little kid all the way to now. You know why? They asked this question. Yeah, I'll see if it's like a million, and like a $5 billion life.
I'm still not 100% sure why I decided to make these like robotic toes though. Like it's like part otter, part like robo dinosaur.
Right on our team.
Oh my god. Open for
What's this? Have you ever played coin order on this one?
Oh yeah.
Get started. It was me.
Yo, low key, this picture is nowhere near to being close to done.
Right? Okay, where are you? Where are you now? Let's see.
So I'm debating about whether or not I should add toenails on top of these toenails, okay? Because I'm thinking Booty's nails are like kind of pinkish, I think. But if I had two sets of toenails, it'll be kind of confusing where the foot ends. And it'd be like a shark foot because, I mean, sharks don't have feet, but they have like multiple rows of teeth. Where like if I had multiple rows of toenails, then it wouldn't really be a dinosaur anymore. It would be more of like a gigantic fish.
What is with this? Third red turtle shell
Here's what I'm thinking. If I'm thinking, it probably doesn't need. It probably doesn't need toe claws because it has shoe claws. And so, like the two are one, and that the armor that he's wearing is part of the persona. Then it like combines it to make it like a clawed animal because it's an animal with claws, but it's armored claws, and so perhaps you could say that some animals have retractable claws, and in this case it wouldn't have to pull out its claws because it has mechanical claws. I wish I had mechanical claws. You know what I did have though? I had a falcon ring. Falcon rings are pretty cool. It's like if you ever have like one of those paper fingers where like you like fold it up out of like a square piece of paper and then you just like do like a thing where you fold it over and like like paper fingers, It was like that except made out of metal. Not like well, it had like multiple rings and hinges and stuff, but like it was like wearing like this giant thing over my finger. You know who iconically wears a falcon ring in a movie is that one guy that plays frickin' Adam Sandler's brother is the spawn of Satan in that movie Little Nicky. And he has like the most gnarly falcon ring in the world.
Wait, did you think he was just talking to nobody? Huh? Wait, did you think he was just talking to nobody? I wouldn't lose.
Yeah, but you know what happened to my falcon ring is I was going over to my buddy's house. And I didn't have a way to wake him up because it was 2 a.m. when I got there. And so what I did is instead of knocking on his door, because I didn't want to wake up his grandma, is I took my falcon ring off and I chucked it up on his second-story bedroom window, just praying that he would wake up and be able to hand it back to me, But I didn't know that, and for all I know, like something that's made out of that much metal, and throwing it up at a window like that, and this was about 4th of July, because I dropped by my buddy Wayne's, the one I was talking about, that the guy smashed his guitar. And it was that other guy. It was the other band guy that had like made out with his girlfriend. That he like stole his girlfriend at the concert. But this was like later after that. And before we wrecked his car, um, it was so I'd thrown this falcon ring up there at his window, and I could have broken his window with that. But he wakes up, right? And he's like, "Hey man, did you like chuck this at my window?" And I was like, "Yeah. Are you like awake?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Hey, can I like come in?" And he was like, "Okay." And so I go up there and I'm like, "Hey bro, like did you find like my falcon ring?" He's like, "Yeah, here it is." And so I'm looking at it and it's broken. And I'm like, F, broke my falcon ring by chucking it in a guy's window at 2 a.m. And I was like so upset. I was like, oh, that was like my new favorite ring, and it only lasted me like a week before I broke it. Because I was just running around doing stupid shit, like, you know, waking up, like riding my bicycle like across the county and waking people up at midnight and waking people up at like 2 a.m. and being like, hey man, like, what you doing? And he's like, well, you know, like, just not sleeping. You know, you want to, like, come up here and not sleep with me at 2 a.m. in the morning? So, like, yeah, dude, that, like, sounds amazing. So we snuck in past his grandma, right? And, let me tell you, man, like, some of these people I hang out with are just insane. But I'm not going to talk about that. But we'll just say, you know, it's a pretty nice party places. I've been in a few places where I like that, where it's got, you know, like the home bar, and, you know, it's got, you know, like the safe, you know, and, you know, a whole drawer full of guns, and you're just like, man, like, what is this guy, like, one of those fancy Playboy mansion people that, you know, has to, you know, keep their stuff, you know, their secret stash of whatever it is that they're stashing that, you know, is having to keep it in a safe and being like, I gotta keep my safe from all the people trying to, you know, break into their safe, and then, you know. You know, people just do that nowadays, you know, or they've been doing that for a while.
That's it. So how many I made?
Oh yeah, and you know what else is? I had the strangest dream too. Is that his lady friend too that I used to hang out with. Well, I still hang out with. We've been friends like probably about 8 years. She'd have popped up in my dream the other day. I thought it was the oddest thing. It really caught me off guard. Because I did not, like, even think about her, like, you know, that way. But she had popped up as I had asked her for advice about my lady friend before. I was like, hey, you know, do you think I should go, like, you know, track this lady friend of mine across the country and, like, see if they, like, want to hang out, you know? And of course, you know, I'm always met with, you know, like, no response to, you know, the idea, like, you know, you can't really tell people, like, you know, what to do with their lives. But, you know, I thought it was a good idea. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just do it then. But that's not what happened in my dream, is that I was, like, asking her about advice, and then she was, like, coming on to me, and I thought it was, like, the craziest thing. But then I thought, you know, it wouldn't be odd that she'd do that, just because, you know, I was friends with like two people that she had like hooked up with before, and that hadn't even crossed my mind that that she would like think of like what I was doing and then associate that possibly with like what she had been doing like with them and be like thinking that she like would do that with me. And I'm like, because it was just like my friend, because I have that rule where I'd like not do that with like my friends, lady friends, you know.
Is it worth 10% of your soul? Yes or no? Yeah, because I still have 90% of my soul.
But yeah, she popped up in my dream, and I was doing the same thing before I was asking her for advice, and then she was coming on to me, and I was like, oh, and then I was just kind of like was trying to do my own thing after that because I was like, I'm like involved with somebody type deal, where like, and that whole like thought process had like ran through my head like while I was dreaming. But I thought it was the oddest thing because I'm like this person that like I can like trust their opinion, like because that wasn't the first time that I'd gone over there and like asked her about like my girlfriend, because I think she's like a bisexual chick, and I'd had another girlfriend that was like my buddy's, it was like his ex-wife, and she was like way older. But I'd have gone over there and been like, hey, like, I'd like kind of into you. So yeah, I mean that happened, and she'd have like helped, set me up for like a date type deal. That I like asked her for a favor. I was like, hey, like I'm going over there to like see my buddy's girlfriend type deal. You think you could like hook me up so that I can like hook her up? And she had like actually spotted me, like this bisexual chick spotted me on helping me out with my friend's ex-wife or whatever. Cause, I just told her like what was going on, and I told her that oh hey like I'm like into this chick, but I'm kind of like not doing too well right now, and she was like, oh okay, and then she just like was helpful, and I was like, whoa, like I can't believe that some bisexual chick just like did that for me and this guy's ex-wife right now, but she did, so that was cool. But it hadn't even crossed my mind that she was into me though. But I think that in that dream, that kind of like pointed out that maybe she might have been. Just like kind of unfortunate because I'm like not really thinking about how I would like not. I'm like on a one-way trip to being like, I'm like here now. So, it's good to be where I want to be. Yo, low key, this tail's looking dope. Alright, so how's this looking? It's like
Behavior-wise or academic? I love you, bro. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
so like these outlines are looking pretty crazy, man. Oh yeah, and did I mention that what's her you know you gotta wonder, it's like in total I've had 2 dreams about, why I should like be here in Pittsburgh. About like people that I've never even met before. And I'm like, how could you even dream about somebody that you like never even met them before? Like, that's just like the craziest thing. And that's what I was trying to explain something before, is that sometimes like I'll go places. Like I went to a place one time and I thought to myself, it was like spider mites crawling around on the placard. So I read a placard and it just really stuck out to me as a statue and a person, the Blarney Stone. That Blarney Stone. As I visited the Blarney Stone, I heard that if you visit a Blarney Stone, you're supposed to kiss it for good luck. But I found one once. And I thought to myself, I was like, I feel like I'm divinely connected to this Blarney Stone somehow. It was like a spiritual thing. I think I may have touched it.
Remember, everyone, if you have your name on the list, you must be ready to leave.
Go.
15 minutes. We are leaving at 1:45, so you need to make sure you are ready.
Wait.
If you are not ready, we are not leaving.
But yeah, I was gonna say that
1:45 before we leave. But everybody who's possibly able to go needs to be ready.
Joseph.
14.
Am I allowed to wear flip-flops? I thought it was 20.
Why wouldn't you wear flip-flops? I need to go to get it.
I feel like that thing I was talking about, things and places that are like, I feel like that stone, that there's like a way that people could like put the souls of their ancestors into the stone. I think that's why people build cemeteries, is that like somehow that like the stone is a marking of like a sacred place, or they stack stones to mark a sacred place. That you know what my dog did, and he's blind, but he had dog bowls in his dog house, and right like after my my other dog died. He was blind, he missed having her around because, he can't tell where he's able to go. And so what he'd do is he just put his head like on her butt and just sleep on it. And then anytime that she would go somewhere, he would go there too because he was blind, he didn't know where he was going. And so he would just like follow her the whole time because he was so blind. The only way that he would know where he's going is that he like trusted her to know like where he's going. And after my dog, my lady dog, died, he had taken the food bowls from his from his dog bin, and he had stacked the food bowls like upside down on top of each other. And I thought to myself, I was like, what are the chances that a blind dog would be able to not only like pick up a food bowl, you know, but flip it upside down, and then not just flip one food bowl upside down, but be able to take the other food bowl that was upside down and stack the other bowl on top of the food bowl, and like right where my lady dog used to sleep. And I thought to myself, I was like, I wonder if he's like trying to share his empty food bowl with the empty space that like my lady dog used to occupy, and then it gave me like this awareness of the idea that, like the way that that people like Mark Graves is like a respect for the soul, being a human, that that I think that my blind dog may have marked where my lady dog used to sleep is is like that he was like respecting her by taking the dog food bowl to her and saying, hey, you can have something to eat too. And like he like stacked the food bowl upside down in the doghouse, and I had gone in there to pull out the dog food bowls, and I was like, there is no way that both these bowls could be stacked in here upside down after my dead dog. I thought it was the strangest thing. That and the same day that I said that I didn't care if my dog died, and I came home and her eyeball had imploded. I was like, because she had a tumor in her neck. That was right before she died. And my parents were chewing me out. They were like, you need to feed the dogs. And I was like, I was just being like dumb. And now I feel bad about it. It's like, that was like a really good dog. And I kind of miss her, But I was sleeping in my doghouse one time. And we got a new lady dog. And I was sleeping in her spot because I had gotten locked out. My parents weren't home. And
You know what that is?
and I thought to myself,
Oh, and there's also this too.
I was like, oh, all right. Well, no more doghouse stories. No more
Russell, I have hair on my toes.
doghouse stories.
Isn't as noticeable as mine?
Click. Yo, but that booty though, them Dino Robo booties. All right, I gotta go.